All right, back here on NFL Live. So social media was busy over the weekend, at least Friday night it was, because a Giants fan named Stan Harder tweeted and tagged Odell Beckham Jr. saying, 0 preseason snaps, please. And he got a response Saturday morning. Beckham answered with a short but very clear tweet, 0. Well, Beckham returned to Twitter a few hours later and said, people take things a little too serious sometimes. Quick to write a story, but hey, anything for a couple likes in this world. LOL. It's so sad that the world we live in. Wonder if it'll ever change. Then that second tweet of grow up, please. I'm trying to do the same. I like that he puts that in there. He's trying to grow up as well.
Very world weary, that young man.
I wonder why.
Surprised by that.
All right, back here on the desk. Guys, it is Overreaction Monday here, and it's a pretty simple game. I give a statement. These guys tell us if it's an overreaction or not. So
he's already good at this game.
Here we go. I know. D'Angelo, you are very good at this game. So first question up, or first statement here in this segment. Beckham should sit until the regular season. Overreaction or not an overreaction?
Not an overreaction. He's had all the practice time in training camp. If you're going to tell me that players need training camp, then show me that they need training camp by not allowing these players to go through the preseason. When I say allowing these players to go through the preseason, you saw last year there was a lot massive injuries to a lot of guys because there's an extra 4 games that's put on their body from the preseason. And the preseason doesn't even count like the regular season does. So this is not an overreaction, and quite frankly, I'm glad that he responded to his tweeple. That's what I call him, tweeple. Yes, he responded to his tweeple by saying 0, and I honestly feel that he's in that realm to where he doesn't need the preseason or the preseason, I'm saying, to get ready. If you're going through training camp and doing what it is you need to do to get ready.
Yep, not an overreaction. The body of work is there.
Yes.
I'd say this. If he wants to take some preseason snaps, especially if the Giants use a number 2 overall pick on a quarterback that he wants to develop some rapport with, that's fine. But does he need to?
True.
Not at all.
And the offense will change with the new coach in there, Pat Shurmur. So obviously there might be some familiarity, but he'll get enough of those reps in training camp practice. Look, preseason football, as we've discussed on the show, is, in my opinion, a complete abomination that needs to be eradicated from the world. So I think no one should play any preseason snaps.
Thank you. Best friends.
You make friends and break up with friends very quickly, though. I wouldn't trust
it. It's life. It's a love-hate relationship.
Again. Number 2, Odell Beckham should not be on the field until he gets a new contract. If I were Odell Beckham, I would not play a single snap in anger unless I got my new contract. Now, I don't know if he's going to get that from the Giants this offseason, but if he doesn't, I think we're going to be talking about Odell Beckham a lot on this show and when he's coming to camp, when all that kind of stuff. So that issue is hanging over this question as well.
Phil just like morphed into you, Dan, and you just became the cool person.
Since you guys are all
we're just that good together.
That's what it is.
You really are.
You're dealing with a high level of talent, and that's what you get.
My thought on the other side of it was, you say we don't need to see Odell anymore. I mean, Antonio Brown, Tom Brady, they always participate in those preseason games, and we sure know what they can do. So that's the other side of the argument. I know I'm the enemy on this table, so I want to move on.
It's not the enemy. It's are the coaches making them go through it, or is that their decision? That's a whole nother argument.
All right, overreaction or not an overreaction, okay? Odell should be the highest paid player in the NFL. Field, I would like to start with you on this one.
I'm about to become no longer D'Angelo's best friend because this is an overreaction. Here's what I would say. From a reality standpoint, it's a complete overreaction because we know it's going to be a quarterback. It's going to be a quarterback for a long time. But I'm sort of removing myself from that part of the conversation. If it's just about just pure best football player in the NFL, I think you can make a case for, amongst other players, Aaron Donald as the best player in the NFL right now. You could make a case for someone like Aaron Rodgers, a couple of Aarons there, as the best player in the NFL. Le'Veon Bell could be the best player in the NFL. Antonio Brown could be the best player in the NFL. So my point is this, is that if we're making the argument that Odell Beckham Jr. deserves to be the highest paid player because he's simply the best, I think there are other guys that have more of a case to be made as the best player in the NFL.
I know you have something to say. I don't even have to tee you up.
I was going to let Dan go. I was going to let Dan go.
To hear what you have to say.
Because I think Dan's going to be on my side.
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm on field side.
The right side.
I think
All right.
the quarterbacks are the highest paid players for a reason. I don't think it's. I know. But I think it's for a reason. Their responsibilities are greater than other positions on the field, and they're going to continue to get paid that way. And then you factor in scarcity. Odell Beckham is a wondrous player. I mean, an exceptional player. One of the great players in the game to watch, and should be paid by the time it all settles. I think he'll end up with the highest wide receiver contract in the NFL because of the way the market is set up. You know, if Antonio Brown and he were both free agents together, you could say Antonio should get more. He's a better player, etc. But I think the highest paid player in the game is always going to be a quarterback, and I know you disagree.
Totally disagree.
But I think that's fair.
He believes he should be the highest paid player in the National Football League. Yep. I agree with him. If anybody else came out and said the same thing, I would agree with them also. But you have to understand the influence that OBJ has.
I do.
Not only do I understand the influence that he has, name a bigger name on that roster in New York.
Not even close.
How much are they paying Eli Manning? So he definitely should be paid more than Eli Manning. And Eli Manning is making $100 million. So if he's making $100 million, then that means OBJ, just out of being highest paid on his team, would make him the highest player in the National Football League.
Manning's contract is a result of 2 Super Bowl MVPs and a stretch of games where he's only missed 1 game in his entire career, and it wasn't because of injury. So he's been durable, and he's been a winner, and so he got that contract. But, I mean, Odell, again, I've seen it up close. I covered the team when he was a rookie, his first couple years in the league. He is a huge star and a huge difference maker and should get a huge contract. I am personally all in favor of players continuing to push the ceiling higher.
Yes.
But I think the best he can do is to continue to push the ceiling higher at his position. I don't think we're at a point where wide receivers can reasonably expect to be paid like quarterbacks.
All right, well, we know the guy that's going to be making that decision, or at least participating in that decision, it's going to be the new GM, Dave Gettleman. D'Angelo, you played for Gettleman when you were with the Panthers for years.
Popcorn ready.
So, we know you want to get back in the league. So the question here is then, if the New York Giants offered an opportunity for you to play for them, to play under Dave Gettleman again, D'Angelo, would you play for the New York Giants if they offered, knowing your history with Dave Gettleman?
Okay, so I'm not even going to start with Dave Gettleman. I'm going to talk why I would not join the New York Giants, because they have issues up along the front offensive line. The offensive line, they have some issues and some holes that they need to fill there. A running back can't fill those holes. It's putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. So until they shore up that offensive line, Eli Manning is going to continue throwing on his back. The running back's going to continue to run into a wall, and the wide receivers are going to continue to be pissed off that they can't get the ball. So,
He didn't answer the question.
Right. So getting back to Dave Gettleman, he has a lot on his plate, and not only that, I couldn't play for him because he doesn't, players that he don't bring in or that he doesn't bring up, he doesn't have the same level of respect for them as he has for those guys that he have a long-standing relationship with. And that's where we fell out, or not necessarily fell out. That's why I ended up getting cut from the Panthers.
So it was because you didn't have that history with him,
I
because
didn't
you were
have the
brought
history.
on.
Right. Eli Manning is safe because he was there when Gettleman was there, so he's safe. Everybody else, including OBJ, they'll have trouble. But the only thing that OBJ has over everybody else is the fact that he is the face of that team. He's the face of that franchise, and Dave Gettleman will go before OBJ does.
Yeah. Okay.
I was going to say, can you imagine the uproar? Man, whew. If Odell was no longer with the Giants.
Right, and they only benched Eli for a game.
Right.
The head coach was lost.
People got fired.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to that.